Welcome to Sharrett Family Farm Spring Boar Preview. We are broadcasting to you live from Jamestown, Ohio, Sharrett Family Farms. For those of you that are blessed to be watching in a warm, sunny place, we are not in a warm, sunny place. And it is cold and we've had ice here, but nonetheless, we are here and we are excited about bringing you what we think is an extremely strong set of boars. Before we begin, we would like to take just a second to bow our heads in a brief word of prayer. If you will, pray with me. Father, we thank you for your goodness and for the abundance of your blessings. Father, I thank you for the families that are here today helping us. I thank you for giving me the opportunity to work with the families. And Father, we thank you for the opportunity that we have to work with families across this nation. Father, we thank you for the livestock industry, and we thank you for the opportunity that we have to raise livestock and to work together and to compete. Father, we pray that you would be blessed, that you would bless us in what we do, and we pray that you would bless the families across this nation. Father, we pray that you would bless the family unit. Father, as we're here today, we pray that you would be with us. We pray that you would be honored and glorified in everything we say and everything we do, that we would lift you up, and we would praise you for you're worthy of all praise. Pray that you would help us through this next 1 hour as we view these boars, and pray again that you would be exalted above all. It's in Jesus' name we pray these things. Amen. Thank you, and I want to just take a minute and brief introduction to recognize the people that are here to help us briefly. I'm extremely blessed. I'm able to do two things that I absolutely love. I'm able to practice medicine, and I'm able to raise livestock with my family. In order to do that, the Lord has put people in my life that have helped me to do that, and many of those people are here today, and I want to take just a brief second to mention them as we move forward. My parents have been extremely helpful. My family's been helpful. And tonight, as you work through seeing these boars, you're going to see these people as they are here and helping us. Daryl Furlong works with us every day, and Daryl's available that if you need help from Sharrett Family Farms or to contact Sharrett Family Farms, please don't hesitate to contact Daryl. My boys are going to be driving the boars tonight, Caleb and Logan, along with Kyle Banks, three fine young men that love hogs and love working here and helping us each and every day. On the podium, we have with us Matthew Knott and Scott Evans, who have both been just crucial and critical in helping us to put together a set of boars that we feel are second to none. In the outgate, we have Chris Wintrow, who's also been extremely helpful to us in terms of helping us with the boars and helping us with our breeding program. In the back, we have a whole crew that has worked hard to get the boars up here and to help us to be able to present them to you tonight. And so this could not be done without a group effort of a lot of people coming together, and I publicly want to thank them all for being here and for helping us. Before we get started looking at the boars, I want to take just a second and talk about semen quality. Semen quality is extremely important to us. We have done everything in our power to maintain and to develop the highest semen quality possible so that our customers will have the experience that they've come to expect. So with that, we have worked with GenePro, a company that has helped us to bring our semen quality up to the highest possible standard. So before we get started looking at boars, we want to take just a second and take a look at our interaction and our work with GenePro.
Today, Bill, we're visiting with Mike Garner of GenePro, a division of Gene Diffusion. Mike, if you could please tell us a little bit about what you guys bring to the table for us.
And basically, we're a global reproductive company. We also manage studs in our Genes Diffusion division. So that gives us the ability to have hands-on practical data to share with folks and bring that into their programs. So, and I actually just got a text this morning from one of your customers that they actually saw a 28% increase over last year's production, still using parity distribution of 1.7 and really raised their born alive. So,
how can we at Sharrett's work better with you at GenePro to make things even better for our customer?
Well, I think the key thing is the building of history and getting boars that we know are producing consistent shelf pig quality for you, but also work on their conception rates to get your customers larger litters. You know, we let your customers understand how much you're putting into this process so that they know the value they're getting in a dose of Sharrett Family Farm semen.
This is Doc 100K. Doc 100K is a final move, moonshine, bulletproof, full count boar that was bred here by Sharrett Family Farms. Doc 100K was the $100,000 high-selling Yorkshire boar at the 2012 Summer Type Conference that was purchased by Shipley Swine Genetics. And certainly we need to pause here for just a second and thank Randy and Sandy and the entire crew at Shipley's for giving us the opportunity to get 100K back. They have just been super to work with over the years, and you can't find higher quality people than the folks at Shipley's. We've enjoyed working with them in the past and certainly look forward to working with them in the future. Doc 100K truly is, in our minds, a living legend. This boar is probably found in more Yorkshire pedigrees right now than any living Yorkshire boar. He is priced at $100 a dose, 3 for $250 or 10 doses for $750. We think that what he brings to the table is somewhat timeless and feel like that he still has a tremendous amount to offer, even though he's 6 years old, will be 7 later this year. This is Doc 100K.
Well, Kevin, I think a great way to start, and you mentioned that this one's in a lot of pedigrees. I think if you take him and Doc Logan and back it up through all this modern Yorkshire era of where we're at today, you'll find there's two probably in 80 or 85% if I had to guess, if that was my job to do today. The thing I love about this boar is at this age, how mobile he stays, how his structure, and his pasture and set, although his build is still relevant and still right. And guys, every time I see this boar, I think if you're home trying to make your sows better, if your goal is to make your pigs better, you got to start with a sow. And if you can't reach out and use a boar like this and tell yourself, I'm going to make them better, I'm going to inject something that's made everything that we're leading up to in 2018 today with something that's available here in a fresh model, not just a frozen model. So many times people back up and use a boar from the 80s because they think it's relevant or neat. Well, here's one that you see what you can get, you know what he's done, and he's in everything that's worth having right now anyhow. That's out there for you. If you want to make them better, you want to make them right, go back and use this one for not a bunch of money and make your sows better. You can use any good, bad, or indifferent crossbred boar to do that. This guy on black ones, on white ones, on red ones, whatever, can fix lots and lots of problems. They've proved they can do it. And it's okay to have a little proven record to get that done.
Well, and folks, we were looking at some babies here before we started, and you know, Sharrett's had a litter of Doc 100Ks over there, and we're sitting there talking about, man, we need to use him again, and you know. But we went over and actually saw that he's still working, and those barrows and those gilts that were in that set, I can promise you, they're going to go out, they're going to do winning, they're going to win on a relevant scale or however you want to put it. They're just flat good hogs, and we need to go back and use this guy again hard and get back to the heart of what we think Yorkshire's, you know, productive Yorkshire should be.
Thanks, guys. This is Doc 100K. Before we bring the next boar in, Tango, we want to take just a second and listen to some comments from the breeder of Tango, Mr. Kevin Ricker.
This is Kevin Ricker. I have on the phone. Kevin, I've had a lot of people that have called and expressed great interest in Tango since you've given us the opportunity to bring him here in stud. What makes Tango so special?
Tango's mom is our famous Doc Logan 76-9 sow, and she was a litter mate to Cloud 9 back in 2013. There we showed him at the World Pork Expo. Logan sow was also the mother of game control, crowd control, bone buzz, here we go, and now Tango. So a sow that's generated a lot of good boars that went on and contributed to the breed.
Where do you think he works the best, and where would you protect him if you had to?
But where he actually worked the best for me was when we put him back on like Capital Gains. They were taller shouldered, really heavy boned, stout headed, tall fronted sows that honestly they could use a little more rib shape and just overall body, but So I guess that's where I would kind of what I would take him to.
Thank you once again for allowing him to come to Sharrett Family Farms, you and Scott Stauffer, and be able to for us to incorporate him into our program. And can't thank you enough. Look forward to continue to work with you in the future, and you have a great and blessed day.
Thank you, Daryl. You too.
Okay, take care now. Bye-bye.
Our next boar is Tango. Tango is a boar that we are extremely excited about. Tango is bred by Kevin Ricker. He is a Voyage 60-4 Doc Logan 76-9. He's owned with S&K Show Pigs, and this boar's created quite a stir here because he is, in our minds, a true breeding boar. And so when you look at the pedigree and you look at the pigs that are already on the ground and what he has already done, we couldn't be more excited about having this guy here at Sharrett Family Farms. He's priced at $150 a dose, 3 doses for $350, 10 doses for $1,000.
Well, I guess in my mind, the word genetic giant gets thrown around a lot in this business, and a lot of people claim a lot of things. And if you go back and listen to the comments of Kevin Ricker there and study the sow this thing's out of, Bone Buzz is the same sow. All these boars that Kevin sold have come out of that same sow, and I don't know why this one doesn't follow in right in there with him. Whenever you get a chance to put one in out of that sow or out of anything even associated with that, and also I think she's a Doc Logan, didn't she, Kevin? That kind of fits back in what we said there a minute ago. So the first time I saw a pig out of this one, I was at Stauffer's this fall looking at little pigs, and he kept showing me these blue tangos, and I said, what is this hog? And Ricker had him kind of bottled up over there and wasn't going to turn him loose to anybody, but he and Scott have a really good relationship, and he said, hey, breed some crossbred sows to him, see what they are. And on Scott's crossbred sows, it is pretty incredible. The first one I saw, the Sponsor family had there, showed him this winter. She was granted reserve a couple times, just on the first one, just kind of pulled out. And I know Scott's still using him hard on black ones, using him on white ones. The names that are using this hog, I think, are maybe we don't need to drop many names, but I know Ryan Stolquist has sows bred to him. Stauffer, of course. Ricker's got him used. The guys here behind us, I know they're all using him. So I think there's a lot of confidence in this one. This guy's got a neat build, a neat look, and out of an incredible sow. I don't know where else you turn to make one that good with that kind of a background behind him. So really happy to have this one here, I think.
Well, when we talk about the hogs that we need for the show ring with the right length of body and the right look, and we think this guy really fits that. I mean, he's not a super long-bodied hog. He's going to make him that show ring length that we need. He's so tall, shouldered, and level, and to have a boar this size get out here and move like that with the kind of reach he does out of both ends, and keep a good good look up front. It's just it's hard to do. We're super happy about this boar, and like Scott said, a lot of guys are using him. He's been used, some already, but we think this is going to be a really big summer for him. A really unique piece to fit in with the rest of our Yorkshire boars.
Before I forget, the first pure out of him we showed the other day, I think, was reserving a division at Perry. So it's just kind of getting started. So use some confidence there. He's not the most attractive one in the world. I can tell you, we isolate him at our place. He's not a big eater. He's big on being a boar, and I think most of you have been around Yorkshires can attest that's kind of what happens when they'll get a little thin, but this guy knows what he's here for, and he'll certainly do it.
Stretch is a reach times Grizz. He's bred by Wintrow Show Pigs, Chris Wintrow there on the outgate, out of a tremendous Grizz sow. This sow I had seen as a young pig showing and admired her then, and she's went back to Wintrow's and has just done a phenomenal job becoming the backbone of his breeding program. We feel this boar is an outcross and that he does represent, again, a tremendous sow behind him. I said earlier in describing him, you can make pigs tall, you can make pigs wide. It's hard to make a pig tall and wide. This hog is a hog to me that casts a big shadow and yet still has some width and has some substance to him. He is priced at $100 a dose, 3 for $250, 10 doses for $750. This is Stretch.
Well, to start off, I guess I've got some pictures on my phone of some babies out of this guy from Mr. Wintrow, and I tell you what, it's hard to sometimes evaluate, pigs when they're still in the crate, but these are impressive to look at. They've got a lot of back shape, and they got a lot of spread up high, and have been performed really well also. Just a really unique piece to mix in here with our other two, the kind of extension and look this guy's got, and maybe we're beating the drum a little bit, but they got to look good from the side, and where we're at for show ring today, we think this guy can make some absolute killer barrows. I think we fed the grandmother or great grandmother of this boar, goes back to Danny B there at Chris's, and she was a little bit before her time, and to watch what Chris has done to put this together with just every bit of the unique Yorkshire breed all into one, that's why he's a genetic masterpiece, and we certainly I like to see him used more, and I think he's going to once those pigs get out and show, but we have a lot of confidence in this guy.
Kind of a unique story here on Private Eye. He was bred by Mark Peter, and in Mark's dispersal, Mark sold his mother as a bred sow. Todd Krieger was looking for a Foundation Hampshire sow for his Hampshire program, purchased this sow for a high price, and raised the litter. That litter produced the champion Hampshire barrow at the 2017 Ohio State Fair, which ended up being 6th overall barrows. Another littermate barrow wins his class. The gilt stayed at Krieger's. Again, we think this boar has incredible value. He was a young boar. We just got him in days before the last open house, so people really couldn't appreciate him as much as I think they appreciate him now. We think this boar has value in making crossbreds. We think that this boar could be bred to crossbred sows to lay in some gilts that have Hampshire influence. We think this guy has all the keys to do that. He is priced at $100 a dose, 3 for $250, 10 for $750. This is Private Eye.
The Hampshire thing here is intriguing to me, especially if the Sharrett family's their sow herd fits this boar extremely well, being really big outline, great design, good pattern hogs that just need more mass and volume, and I think this guy certainly brings that. Excellent kind of typical Hampshire shape, a little more atypical kind of Hampshire bone and foot. He's stouter legged, he's stouter skulled, he's bigger ankled, he's got more stoutness from top to bottom than probably most of them you'll see today. It's got genuine and true kind of muscle and dimensions. So I think this guy needs used a bunch. Like Kevin said, he got in here late last fall, right ahead of the open house. That barrow was really good. Again, kind of a futuristic model, kind of taller shouldered, bigger outlined, took a bigger, longer step out of both ends than what most of them do, and his littermate brother certainly does the same thing here. So I think this guy will see some use. I know he's seen a lot of use here, and that kind's going to be pretty easy to sell in the spring and be very competitive come summertime.
The next boar we're going to talk about is Pistol, but before we bring Pistol into the ring, let's take just a second and listen to some comments that Daryl has from Jarrett Mays.
Hey, Bill, I just got a text from a gentleman, Jarrett Mays. What he states is, Pistol is an outcross to Loudmouth. He works best on sows that need more bone and powered up, making them tall-fronted and balanced. Pigs work exceptionally good on more traditional negative sows as far as stress carriers are concerned. His first pig crops, he sired the Grand Gilt for the Fall Classic, Reserve Grand Boar at the Southwest Type Conference, Reserve Barra at the North American, at the Nail at Louisville, Kentucky, numerous county and state sale barrows and gilts. So I thought that was pretty interesting that we got this, and what a good timing that was. So thank you, Jarrett, for that, and look forward to working with you in the future.
Pistol is a Tango times bank robber. He was bred by Randy Durr. He was purchased from and owned with Jarrett Mays and Mays Family Show Pigs along with Drew Jervis. Pistol should be known as a stress carrier, and this is one prepotent spot boar. When you look at the winnings of Pistol, they sent me picture after picture and list after list. I honestly don't know how many hog shows the offspring of this boar have already won. This boar is young in his features. He is, you can see him, he is what he is. I'm hoping that the video does him justice, because this is an elite boar of any color that you can make. This is Pistol. He is priced at $150 a dose, 3 doses for $350 and 10 doses for $1,000.
Good spotted hogs are hard to find, and this fall I got a phone call from my good friend Drew Jervis, and Drew called and he said, hey, he said, we're going to turn loose with this Boar. He said, we've bred every sow in Oklahoma to him. He's won everything he can win for us. We've got daughter after daughter after daughter. He said, we're going to go somewhere with him, and he was kind enough to think of Dr. Kevin first, and said, if you guys want to be involved, let me know. And it didn't take very long to figure out that's kind of what needed to happen. Drew's big comment to me was when he gets there, his back leg will fit in a 5-gallon bucket, and he certainly didn't disappoint at all. If you go to the website, I know Sharrett's got most of the champions up there now. Grand Bear at Tulsa last year, the Grand Bear at the Ohio or the Oklahoma State Fair, the 5th overall bear at the CPS show last summer, the champion guild at Duncan, I think the reserve Boar at Belton, the champion guild at Belton, I know I'm missing a bunch of them. Tons and tons of jackpot winners. The 5th overall bear at the CPS show. I think I touched on that, and I hope and pray that we get him in some sows up here this spring and especially this fall. He got here this fall, like a lot of old boars do, and it's not often you bring in an old boar. Everybody wants to run around and get the youngest, greatest, latest thing, but when you get an opportunity to buy one looks like that, you just reach in and go and take some track record with it. But when he got here this fall, and there's a lot of old boars, and you haul them, they'll do some weird things in terms of fertility. Had a little struggle with him there early. I can guarantee you he's 110% right now. I think the boys told me the other day he's making 14 or 15 just massively high-quality doses, and will continue to do that going forward. He is a carrier. He is massive. He is big-ribbed. He is fat-legged. He is everything you want a market hog to look like, and I can tell you the gilts are easy to sell, too. They will have more spread. They will have more volume. They will have more density than anything you've ever made in your spot program. If your spots are too big and too skinny and too flat, but you're good-legged and negative, just close your eyes and breed sows. In my mind, that's what Jarrett and those guys down there did, Matt Miller and all of them, and have had extreme success. Some guys here that finally got a chance to see him just shook their heads when they didn't get to breed their sows to him this fall, and I think we'll certainly reach back and do that again going forward. So I don't know where you fix him, what you do with him, other than I'd like to have him about 2 years ago, but Jarrett and Drew did a good job of promoting him and making him famous. So an awfully good boar. If the video doesn't do him justice, come look at him. He's impressive. He's neat. I'd make crossbreds with him years and years ago. There were some half-Pearson boars we did that with, and I certainly think this is one that could certainly do that too. And don't be afraid to do that. It's okay to have an F1 sow laying around that's out of a boar that looks like that, that'll make that kind of rib body and volume. So he's an awfully good one. Again, go to the website, look at all the champions, and that's just a partial list. That's just the first ones that the guys got to him. But that guy there is going to make himself famous in this part of the country now, I hope.
Well, to just take one more minute to mimic what both these gentlemen have said, I mean, he's a specimen for his breed, and folks, we're always looking for those breed hogs that can beat crosses. And bottom line is this one can make him good enough to beat the crosses, and he's done it. He's going to continue to do it. Breed with confidence. This is an exciting spot boar.
Loud and Clear is a loudmouth times megalodon bred by the Pulling Family Swine Genetics here in Ohio. He is stress negative. He is the grand champion spot boar, the 2017 Ohio State Fair. Littermate's sister was also shown at the Ohio State Fair, where she was reserve grand champion, and she went on and was shown at the Indiana State Fair and was reserve grand champion there as well. We feel a really solid stress negative spot boar here in Loud and Clear. He's $100 a dose, 3 for $250, 10 for $750.
Well, quickly, Kevin, again, the champion boar from Ohio. Sold lots and lots of sows this fall. I think it's going to be okay come time to turn those things loose this spring. That littermate guild is awfully good. She was probably one of the 2 or 3 best spot sows I got to see in a while. That she was reserve at Ohio, moved on to Indiana, and was reserve out there and brought some good money. So I think the boar will kind of take care of himself here this summer. He's not pistol. He's totally different. He's bigger outline, bigger pattern, really fat-legged, just not as much muscle. Go to negative sows with him, your carrier sows or some more stuff, and that thing will work good for you.
Well, and just, we saw Pistol, and we run this guy in, and so being so tall-shouldered and good-looking, we think that's one that can go back on those daughters and keep that balance and uniqueness going. So, we got a good thing going here with our spots. We got a lot of confidence in them, and we're looking forward to a good summer running some really good spotted hogs.
Next boar is one that we're really excited about. This is Buried Treasure. Buried Treasure's a Berkshire Boar. He's out of Razor's Edge and out of Class Act Sow. He was bred by Brian Auld in Oklahoma. He is stress negative. Lynn and I went down to Duncan and with the idea in mind of finding a Berkshire Boar. We've had two really good Berkshire Boars here in Kubo and Smoky Bones, and we were happy with both those boars, but frankly, their semen quality just wasn't good enough. Looking for a Berkshire Boar, this boar hit me from the time that he walked in the ring. This boar was the fastest growing, biggest, heaviest muscled boar there, biggest loin-eyed boar. He is big-footed. He is stout-made. He reads to me to be a breeding boar from the rim of his nose to the root of his tail. He's done nothing here but come and just continue, and we are extremely excited about bringing him onto our Berkshire Gilts here and making our Berkshire program better. This is Buried Treasure. He is $100 a dose, 3 for $250, 10 for $750.
Kevin grabbed me at Duncan and said, I want you to go look at and I'm not afraid to say it, go look at the 6th place Berkshire Boar. And we went back and found this hog, and I said, because I didn't watch the Berkshires down there, I said, how do you end up 6th? And we all kind of shake our heads and look, and sometimes breeding hogs sneak through the cracks, and this one definitely falls into that kind of a category. That was easily the biggest ribbed, stoutest, most three-dimensional, biggest ankled, boldest Berkshire Boar at Duncan. There were some brought a lot of money that were really, really unique and attractive and tall-shouldered, and in my mind, they were frailer and straighter fronted. They weren't near as athletic, weren't near as built right as this one, and they weren't half as stout. So this guy, and I think a lot of the Berkshires we see are kind of one way or the other. They're either too much one way or the other. This guy can bring you back to the center and make them really good. So again, I think this one's going to have a good spring and fall, and should get a lot of sows. And if you're like most Berkshire sows, they need just more stuff and more volume, that guy can fix you there.
This is Buried Treasure. I want to take just a second and mention a boar that we think is an extremely high-quality boar here, and that is Brutus. Was a champion Hereford boar at the Ohio State. Sustained an injury last fall, very significant injury. We didn't know whether we were, whether we were going to be able to even get him through it, but he has come through it. Unfortunately, he is three-legged, and he's not presentable to come out here today, even though he's in good flesh. He looks like $1 million. He just is having trouble with his left rear leg. We are able, fortunately, to collect him. The babies out of him look phenomenal, and we still feel like he has a lot of value. So if you're interested in a Hereford boar, please don't hesitate to give us a call on Brutus. The next boar coming in is the Look. The Look is a cheap money king of outlaws who's bred by the Kulo girls. This boar was at the Summer Type Conference, and we felt like this boar just offered us an incredible opportunity to incorporate style and balance, hip and rear leg into our Durocs. And so we brought this guy home, and he has not disappointed us. His first pigs are on the ground, and they look the part, and we are still way high on this boar. This is the Look. He's $100 a dose, 3 for $250, 10 for $750.
Well, when Daryl called me, we wasn't able to be at Louisville. He said, we bought a 6th place boar. I said, okay. And then I came down and saw him, and even then he was a ranter. He knew he was a boar, and just wanted to eat everything in sight. But that hog, even then, bare bones, he was so tall-shouldered and awesome up front, and the angle to his blade and down to the ground was just tremendous. A hog that has done nothing but get better with time, and his maturity has been awesome for them red hogs. He hasn't blown up all at one time. It's been a nice gradual maturity. A hog that gets out here is a mature boar now, and is just so flexible and sound, and reaches so awesome out of both ends. He's level, he's square. A hog that the front third of that one is just, as I said, tremendously, awesome as far as rib shape and blade. Maybe a hog that, for these red ones, take him to a little bit of hip and hind leg, maybe a hip and stifle. That's being awful critical, but a hog that, there again, we talk about ones that how they need to look in the show ring and how they need to be show bearers and show hogs. We think this one is going to do that in a great way. First pigs look awesome. I know there's been quite a few, guys with some really, really good red sows that have used him, and we're certainly excited about what's to come from him.
Next boar is Stick This. I guess the key thing on this boar that really excites us is the sow power. His mother is a $15,000 Thompson sow that has not only had a tremendous litter this past summer with Stick This, because a littermate Barrett of Stick This was the champion Duroc bear at the 2017 Iowa State Fair. Another littermate bear was the reserve champion open class Duroc bear at the Missouri State Fair. A great littermate Gilt wins her class at the Summer Type Conference. Sal then had a litter this summer and went on then, and those pigs came to Perry, Georgia, and held their own there, winning down there at Perry. So great sow power here. This is a great sow, great litter, great boar. This is Stick This. He too is $100 a dose, 3 for $250, 10 for $750.
A little different package than maybe what the look is. That one being a little more build and design and structure. This one being more Barrett oriented. This one this fall, if you remember, was just quite a bit heavier in terms of stoutness and structure and build. Really good fronted. I mean, we'll bust them open with some skull, some blades, some forerib. Really bring them out on the corners and give you some Barrett kind of look and shape. And I think that's kind of the direction you want to go with him. Protect him on elevation, because I think that guy's probably got more volume and mass than what the one we looked at there a minute ago does, because he's a fat-legged, stout, good-looking guy that has honestly gotten better. The open house this fall was quite a bit better than he was the 4th of July in Louisville, and I think today he's continued to mature and grow, and certainly still looks the part as a mature red boar.
As we get ready to go into our crossbred boars, we want to take just a second to thank our customers. So many of you had made our fall above and beyond what we could ever expect, and we've had the opportunity and been blessed to work with so many great people. One of the people that we've been able to work with and are excited about is AJ Gentner, and we want to take just a second. Daryl was able to catch up with AJ on the phone the other day. Let's listen.
Morning, AJ. Hey, I wanted to thank you. Really appreciate the business that you've given us so far at Sharrett Family Farms. And if you could, how's your overall experience been by working with us and your communications with me and the rest of the group there?
Well, Daryl, I appreciate the opportunity. I would say my experience with working with Sharrett Family Farms and Daryl personally has been second to none. Took my first visit, got a hold of Daryl on a 5-minute notice, and the boys were able to show me the boars there, and certainly was impressed. On that tour, found the business, and was a very impressive hog to me, and the guys at the stud there were more than able to get me taken care of, so certainly I appreciate that.
Have your conception rates been okay, and the pig quality that you've got so far been all right?
Conception rates have been very good. I had great success settling sows, had good litter size, they were uniform.
So would I be confident in asking you that could you recommend us to other people then?
I would more than be happy to recommend, just based on customer service alone. Dr. Sharrett and his guys and Daryl, their value proposition is if their customers are successful, they're successful. And so I kind of take that to heart, and I certainly appreciate that.
Well, thank you. Well, as always, I'm very proud of you and what you've accomplished, and I always remember the first time we went together at Guernsey County and done our hog show there together. So every time you step in the ring, it makes me like a proud papa. So much success to you. Remember that you're loved and your family, and we can't thank you enough for your business.
Absolutely. Wouldn't have it any other way, and without you, I wouldn't have had a start. So don't think I'll never forget that.
Okay, thank you. You take care, okay?
As we get into our crossbred program, we're excited to start out our crossbred lineup with Genesis. Genesis is an angel dust times killer instinct. He was bred by Cooper and Flash. He is stress negative. Genesis is the 2015 reserve champion boar at the Summer Type Conference. We say this again and again. We feel that Genesis is a sire before his time. I bumped into George down at Duncan, and George told me that he still feels like this may be the very best crossbred boar they've made, and that's saying a lot because they have made a tremendous set of crossbred boars. This boar we feel is timeless. He's a boar that we feel that you can breed across a wide variety of sows and will sire you consistently high-quality elite pigs. Genesis is priced at 3 doses for $100, and we've done that because he makes a lot of semen, and we want him to get bred to a lot of sows. This is Genesis.
Well, as Kevin said, George and Ashley, they're as a premier program as there is in the country, and they have made a lot of great show hogs and are going to continue to do so. And we just think this guy kind of falls into the category of Doc 100K and some of our other mature boars. Just get it done. Doesn't matter what kind of sow. Doesn't matter when the litter comes. They're just going to be good. They're going to be good feeding. They're going to be good built. I think there was a high number of our champions last year came out of this guy and at any level. So we think he's going to make him pretty and make him tall shouldered and add some muscle shape. He's certainly at this age to get around the ring as he does is certainly something special, and just not a lot of holes, not a lot of guesses here. Breed with confidence. He's proved it, and he's going to continue to do so.
Quickly, Matthew, I think the interesting thing to me was after the fall deal was how many more people reached out and used this boar that didn't even consider it the fall before. As you talk about going into the future, it's okay to make them tall-shouldered, great built, good-looking, sound, athletic, and fat-legged, and do it right here. And again, for not a bunch of money, and he won't mess you up anywhere. So if your sows are taking on oxygen and they're a little boogered up behind, just go ahead and use that guy. But they'll have lots of pigs, you'll have lots of sellable pigs, and he'll make them better each and every time.
Our next boar coming in is Silver Design. Silver Design is a bad chicken, which was a boar bred by Mark Hogue, times turbo, times heat wave. He's bred by High Point Genetics. He, again, is stress negative. The thing that excited us about this boar, we were contacted by Tom out there at High Point that this boar was out of their foundation crossbred sow. The old turbo heat wave sow has done just a phenomenal job there at High Point, which got us excited about this boar. He was used this fall. The reports on his pigs have been outstanding. We are excited about it. The people that have used him have high quality pigs that they say have a lot of color and a lot of design, which is what we expected. He too is priced 3 doses for $100. This is Silver Design.
Another one in my mind on the crossbred side of things that for not a bunch of money, that's great built, it's athletic sound, who's gotten each better and matured the right direction each and every day. When he first came here, he was kind of a great built, tall shouldered, good looking one. It just got bolder and stouter and bigger centered each and every day on not a bunch of silly feeds. So I know guys have bought this or used this guy this fall in particular have told me that they've had big litter sizes. The quality looks good. They're consistent, and they're all going to look like they're going to be sellable. So again, square built, good looking, sound, tall shouldered, and athletic. He's not the biggest leg one in the world. I'd probably protect him on bone and foot. But he's athletic, square, and goes the right direction in terms of toe spacing and toe direction. So just go ahead and use that guy. He's big backed. He's high point shaped. He's got muscle and squareness behind. Just watch him on bone and probably just a whisker, a skull, and just go make those things better.
Silver Design. The next boar coming in is another proven boar that we think has a lot to offer. This is Skywatch. Skywatch is a Skycam times Visionary. He's bred by Not Show Pigs. He is stress negative. This boar will add power. He will add foot. He will add substance. He sired multiple champions last year, was used very little. We got him late in the process, but still the guys that used him got along extremely well. We think he still has a lot of value. He is priced this year 3 doses for $100, which we think is an incredible value. This is Skywatch.
Well, for me, a little bit hits close to home, certainly coming from the house and out of our very best crossbred sow at home, being that Visionary Black Blood IHOP. And any of you that have followed what we've done at home, it's built around that old sow, and a hog that we liked as a young pig, and he just matured better and better, and a super big backed and big hipped one that is going to add power, as Kevin said. Now, maybe a little long bodied. Certainly want to make sure that that female that you choose to use, maybe it's just a little shorter ribbed, but a hog that's sound and functional. Like I said, we all like to use boars out of good sows and that has good litter mates and all that put together, and we think this guy really encompasses that. He took a little bit of a hiatus as well as far as semen quality, but he's back to 100%. And as Kevin said, didn't get used as much his first go around, but I think one that's going to prove to have some value even into some maturity.
The next boar in is Tuxedo. Tuxedo is a sharp-dressed man times sterling. He, too, is bred by not show pigs. He's stress negative. Tuxedo has, and I'm going to tell you right up front, guys, coming in, he's got a bad rear leg. If he didn't have that bad rear leg, we may not have been able to get him. He was going to be the Knott's entry to the Indiana State Fair. This boar is extreme in his bone and his structure. He is extremely heavy structured. He's out of another great sow. And, I tell people talking about him, if you had a $70,000 pickup truck that had a dent in the tailgate, it wouldn't make it worth much less than $70,000. This truck has a dent in his tailgate, and I'm going to tell you that right up front, and you can see it, okay? But we feel he still has incredible value. The guys that were able to look past that dent in his tailgate and used him, I can tell you right now, are extremely happy. The first reports on his pigs have been off the charts. This is Tuxedo. We feel, again, he's another great value at 3 doses for $100.
That's another of those boars this fall. When we looked at him, we all decided if you want to find a boar that's going to make them easy to sell as baby pigs and not have to ask yourself, when are they ever going to get enough, this one can certainly do it. I think probably one of the top 2 or 3 heaviest structured boars we'll see here today. One that's got more center body, back shape, and spread up high than most of them, and an advanced kind of a skull in terms of stoutness and look, but still being long and good shaped and having a great jawline laid into him. That's a good boar. Like Kevin said, I've talked to some folks that have used that hog, that have used him on just average muscle, great built, tall shoulder ones, and they are absolutely excited about the prospects of making a little money on those pigs this spring and where they can end up in the summertime. So again, a little hitch in the running gear. I would not trade for your tractor because I had a flat tire, and I certainly would not use this board because he's a little gimped up. He's actually better to me than he was in the fall. He's getting better every day, and if you can't see, that hog is 3-dimensional stout and got a lot of center body and muscle, and maybe we're on the same or different pages in terms of what we're looking at, but that guy can make some sellable baby pigs.
Well, and to talk that sow for just a second, probably the stoutest, heaviest bone sow on the farm, and one that we're trying to build around a little bit more at the house, and for being so stout and big in circumference of bone, that's a hog that's just so good as far as pasture and set. Scotty, I appreciate saying so many kind things about him. He was one that he got a lot of guys onto him too early, and I appreciate that. But a hog that the pigs at our house and around that we've seen are really, really good. So there's another used with confidence. I think he'll be very happy.
Next boar in is another one that we're extremely excited about. This is out on parole. Out on the parole is an above the law times fortune. He's bred by Scott Stauffer. He is stress negative. And again, this is a boar that's out of a great litter. He's a litter mate to Justified and also a litter mate to Bankroll at Shipley's, 2 other boars that ended up in prominent boar studs. We ended up using this boar a lot, and the reason we ended up using him, frankly, is because the other boars were sold out to our surprise and to our pleasure, and so we sold a lot of semen on this boar as well. But this boar makes a lot of semen, and he made a lot of semen. He was available, and I can tell you, our pigs on the ground are just off the charts. They are phenomenal. This boar, as Scott says, has plenty of stuff. He is ideally made to breed to plainer sows, and as I said, his first pigs look great. He's $100 a dose, 3 for $250, 10 doses for $750. This is out on parole.
This guy's really unique, and again, I've spent a lot of time with Scott Stauffer over the years, and And when you go to Scott's and analyze things, you kind of see some things happen, some things that always happen. And if you go to Stauffer's, you'll know those hogs will always have center body. They'll have feature, they'll have dimension, they'll have look, they'll have a lot of things, but they'll have a lot of stuff, as Kevin called it. This hog will sire muscle, he'll sire shape, he'll sire dimension. I can tell you on Yorkshire sows, it was surprising to me. Color has been kind of different. He's sired more white than he has dark blues, which is okay in the Southwest if you're trying to make Yorkshire barrows or Yorkshire peering barrows, because that guy will absolutely do it. And I'm sure there's that Final Drive Big Time sow being right in there a generation or two back is probably the biggest culprit for that. So at the same time, you'll make high quality Yorkshire barrows for the Southwest if you use that guy. On colored sows, I'm sure he'll make every color under the sun, which will be okay. But if you do not take him to one that's got a whole lot of things going on in terms of muscle, width, and dimension, take him to a really good looking, tall shouldered, great built one that needs more blast and more explosion and spread, and he will certainly make them really, really unique, really attractive up front with a lot of body, a lot of mass, a lot of shape and muscle, and again, be very easy to sell at 50 or 60 pounds.
This is out on parole. Next boar in is 24/7. 24/7 is a sky cam, or is a red 7 times sky cam times visionary. If that sounds familiar, this boar is a result of breeding red 7 to Skywatch's littermate sister. Bred by not show pigs, he too is stress negative. He's tall shouldered, clean fronted. High expectations for this guy. He's a young pig. He got here late, but he has been used, and the first reports have been outstanding. He is $100 a dose, 3 doses for $250.
Well, Red 7 there at McCoy's doesn't need much of an introduction. The hog has done an incredibly good job, and we were excited to put him into to Skywatch's litter mate, and to be able to produce this guy and kind of been a stud, I guess, ever since he was in the nursery decks, I suppose. Just super heavy bone, but yet correct and opened up as he comes and goes. That's a hog that, as he's matured, is coming to a great rib shape and body, and as Kevin said, still good looking up front with some tallness to shoulder. One that probably some of our better litter of pigs are at home or out of him, and for the few guys that used him, the word has been the same. But a hog that is sound, functional, gets back into that visionary sow for us that we certainly like to use. So a good boar, a hog that's matured well. We're hoping that after today, people like what they see, and we can get a little bit more sold on him. But a really good boar, folks.
Guys, the next boar's chomping to get in, and I'm hoping you're excited to see him, because we're excited to show him. We're excited to let him in this ring before he tears this pin up. This is R&D. R&D stands for reach and drive. R&D is a distinct times swagger times bone thug. He was bred by Raisin Cane show pigs. He is stress negative. He was our choice of the strong set of boars at Duncan. This is a unique individual, and you can see he has no trouble getting around. He has unlimited potential. We feel this boar is built that he can elevate that head, he can reach, he can drive. This is an elite boar that we just feel is off the charts in terms of his potential. He is priced at $150 a dose, 3 for $350, 10 for $1,000. This is R&D.
Boars at Duncan were really, really good, as they always are, and there were 2 or 3 kind of on the short list, and this one certainly was one of them, for a couple, 3 reasons. The front 2/3 of this guy, in my opinion, is really unique and really got a lot of reach and a lot of futuristic kind of a look to him. If we turn that guy around, you watch him come right at the camera. He is busted open with a big chest cavity, got a big blade with a stout skull and a big forerib in him. He is true and genuine to the ground, coming off both ends. He really sets and plants and goes on the corners, offers a lot of shape up high and a lot of back and a lot of center body with a lot of athleticism and mobility. He's ornered like this every day. When we got back from Duncan, again, I isolated this boar for Kevin, and he didn't want to eat a lot of feed. This guy went right to being a boar and ranting and acting like a boar should, and he kind of planed out a little bit in terms of his belly, but he's coming back there, and because he is an athlete, he is absolutely up and down and all over the place. Another unique thing about this boar, I talked to Eric Polish this morning. That sow came from him to those guys there at Canes they're in southern Iowa. She is a Swagger 301 bone thug and goes back to to a sow from Carter Schulte, Carter and Kyle years ago. That was the mother, the grandmother, the mother of the Hawaii Bear, and 12 is the great grandmother of this boar. So a lot of sow power in this guy. Eric told me when he let those guys have this sow, he goes, after I did it, I just couldn't believe I did it, but the boys are working for me, and they were really happy to get her, and she's won everything through Iowa. Every county show that she's got a pig at, she wins. Every jackpot show, those guys have really built a good sow herd around that sow from Eric. So really happy to have him. He's matured extremely well. I've had a lot of people ask me what to do with him, where to take him. I think in my mind, he's not the thickest ended boar. He probably needs a shot more in terms of stifle and lower shape behind, but again, he's a boar that goes and runs every minute of his life. If you get right on top of that guy, if you ever come here and look at him, he is really good there. Lots of spread, lots of outward turn to his rib cage. He has got a big forearm and a big chest in him. It's a really good boar. It's going to be nice to see this one over the next couple 3 months do what he's got to do.
Well, real quick, just a unique genetic package to add in here at Sharrett with that swagger influence, and as Scott said, just a killer south side. Bottom line, we're always looking for that crossbred boar to breed to our Yorkshire sows, to make replacement gilts or to make blue bears or whatever we may be trying to do. Folks, this is your guy. He's so opened up and square. I think he's carbon copy built for some of those purebred sows. Kevin did an awesome job here, and I know that we're all certainly excited to use him. But he's built for Yorkshire sows. He's going to make them blue, and I think it's going to be really interesting.
R&D, everybody. Are we ready to Wahoo? Because it's time. Blue Wahoo is supposed to be in the building, but I don't see him here beside me. Here he comes. This is Blue Wahoo. Blue Wahoo is a brain freeze times visionary. He's bred by desert show pigs. He is stress negative. You want to talk about mass, power, and mobility. This is a great boar from a great program. The first reports on his pigs, I don't think there's a day that passes that somebody's not sending me a picture of a Blue Wahoo pig. And I'm telling you, I'm excited about this boar, and I'm excited about the future. This is Blue Wahoo. He is $150 a dose, 3 for $350, 10 for $1,000.
Well, video, or not video, but the seeing the hog, on video here pretty much speaks for itself. A color never hurt anybody, but I tell you what, a hog that is so massive, middled, and big bladed and open up as he comes and goes, and I hope the video shows how just tremendous in his bone and foot that he is, and I watched this one sell in Indiana, and I thought, wow, that is a really unique, big-centered hog. And when you look at it coming from California to Indiana and then to Ohio, there are a lot of miles there, and most hogs would come in and take quite a bit of time to get back up and going. This guy has an appetite. He's an eater. He's looked good from day one, and as Kevin said, just been getting a lot of good feedback on him. A hog that maybe needs to be taken to a little bit of hip and hind leg. He maybe gets just I don't want to say bland there, but maybe needs a little more raw shape, but huge backed, huge middled, huge legged. That's a hog that's going to see a lot of use and sire a lot of winners.
Not to disagree with Matthew, because I think looking at that hog, that's what I would protect him to too. I've talked to some guys. I've used this hog. A lot of guys. I think he was sold out all fall, pretty much every collection day. Guys tell me on sows that have some stuff, he'll sire a lot of stuff. So if you've got one that's got lots of muscle and shape behind, go back. So I'm with Matthew. Take him to ones that are middle of the road or a little over, and you'll be just fine with that. But don't take him to a little short, round-butted one, because personally, I'd just get rid of her. But if you've got one that's that way, don't use him. Take him one that's middle of the road, a little plus of that, and he'll make him fat-legged, he'll make him good-looking and easy to sell.
This is Blue Wahoo. We're going to finish up our preview today with two boars that originated out of Osco, Illinois. The first one is All Business. All Business is the business times Stingray, which was New Look's littermate's sister. He's bred by Nathan Ray. He is stress negative. This guy is an intensely stacked pedigree with tremendous sow power behind him. I think he's got 4 shots of Sugar Daddy's mama in him. He was purchased as a young pig, and I can tell you, this guy has not had a bad day in his life, and he's done nothing but get better, and he continues to get better. This, in our opinion, is an elite boar. First reports are amazing on his pigs. I want to say just a brief word about Nathan Ray. He is one of the, I think, really, really sharp young minds in our industry. Nathan is not just a producer. Nathan is a breeder. And I think he has bred two outstanding individuals. The first one here is all business.
Been a lot of discussion and debate on this boar and his daddy and who's the best, who's going to be the best, who's going to sire the best. And I can tell you the folks that have used them both have been very happy with both. Guys last fall were either an all business guy, they're a business guy. There was a pretty split line. I don't really know why, because there's so much similarities in them. Everybody I've talked to that's got pigs on the ground out of him are just over the moon about them. I talked to Heath McNeil yesterday. He was with me. We rode out to Indiana, and he said, I've got a litter of 14, and I'll sell every one of them. And he said, I think I'll sell them into good homes, and they'll be competitive. And this guy has matured extremely well. He was so good last fall. He got a little kind of an odd read because he was so ornery and so fast and hard to see. He's slowed down for us, and I think he'll sire as much center body, mass, volume, and hip and hind leg as any of them going with and I remember last fall making the comment that this one proves you can make them big outline, you can make them tall shouldered, you can make them really good without making them skinny and flat. And I'm a huge believer in that, and I think all of us up here and most of us around the world are that way. We just sometimes run into pitfalls of making them that way. This guy can certainly do it. He is about as picture perfect in terms of center body, back, and inner dimension as you can make one that's still got an athletic kind of a build and skeleton, huge chest, and just every little bell and whistle you want on a new piece of anything you buy. That thing's got all the chrome and all the mirrors and all the lights you can get. I think again the summer's going to be fun seeing those things get out and get shown, and again I think everybody that's used him is absolutely signed up to use him again.
And we could talk about this one all day, and you know, from the first time that people saw him, you know, I think bar none, this is the boar that you know, when you see him again, you're gonna make, wow, you know, has he matured and has he come into his own, and that is absolutely true. This is a hog that, you know, I guess bottom line, we all want to win hog shows. That's what we all do this for, and this one looks like a winner. He's going to sire winners. Semen's great. Litter sizes are great. We've got a couple that are getting ready to go to the decks. They look like winners, and if they mature like this guy, which they will, this one is going to sire winners all over the country at every level. We're super excited about him. Look, design, muscle, he's got it all. Use him with confidence. This is a tremendous boar.
As all business goes out, we're going to pause just a second. I mentioned Nathan Ray and how much I've grown to appreciate him. We're going to take just a second and listen to Nathan, and Daryl had the opportunity to touch base with him the other day. And before we bring the business out, let's take just a second and listen to Nathan and see what his comments are on the business.
I have Nathan Ray with us here from Illinois. What makes business so special, and where does he work best in your mind?
I think what makes him maybe more special than most is what I talked about earlier. The two hardest things to breed into a hog is heaviness, structure, rib shape, in my opinion. Both of those things, but you add that to the fact that he's also good looking, great hip and hind leg, and he's square around. I think that's what sets him apart from a majority of the boars you'll see. His density of skeleton, his age, the generating he has, and you know, he's backed by good sound line because his mother was actually at the sugar daddy's dam as well, and she was a tremendously heavy structure, built sow that had big legs and big feet as any sow we ever had. But you compile that with the fact it's also out of heat spear, which he was a sugar daddy hillbilly sound system, lines up the bottom side of the fire with the top side of the dam, and you get your most intensified pedigree. But if you ever see the boar in person, which you guys get to, you know, daily, you can really appreciate how tremendously powerful he is and square and how easygoing and
exactly is. So, well, I greatly appreciate your time, and hope you and your pretty wife of yours and those pretty babies have a great day, okay?
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
You know, we started out our preview today with a living legend, and I think this boar has the opportunity and the potential to be another living legend caliber kind of boar. The business is a heat seeker times deliverance times hillbilly bone times sound system. As you've just heard Nathan Ray describe him, he was bred by Nathan Ray. He is stress negative. You know, one of the things about the business I remember this fall, Dale Garrett came in and we walked the boar out, and he did just what he's doing right now, walked out there, and Dale looked at me and says, yep, he checks all the boxes. And I guess when I think about it, he checks all the boxes. An elite sire, if he can sire pigs that look like all business that just came out, and we know he can do that because he's done it, he's doing it now, we can't be more excited about this guy. This is the business. He is $200 a dose, 10 doses for $1,500. This is the business.
It was pretty exciting in our last fall when this guy got in and everybody got pumped up and excited, and he got put in a lot of really good sows. So that's the key to this whole thing, guys, and I think that's something we've talked about time and time again. It doesn't matter how good the boar is. You've got to have great sows to put him in, and I think this one's got an opportunity in some of the sows he's went in here over the last 4 or 5 months. Guys I've talked to have been extremely happy. They look just like they look. I don't know if you paint a picture better than this one. Genner, when he was here and looked at him, he said if you wrote up everybody's mature boars and had a show, this one probably gets ahead of most of them that he's seen this fall. So when you saw the video earlier, AJ talking, that's the boar he saw, and AJ went loose on him. So, and I think most folks that were here and saw him did the exact same thing. I can tell you from a usage standpoint, because I mean the guy's three-dimensional, he's fat-legged, he's good-looking, he's big-ribbed, he's kind of everything you want. You guys have told me that if you take him to a little too much stuff, you'll have a little, and we keep using that word stuff. If you take him to too much muscle, he'll sire a lot of muscle, but he'll make him really shapely backed. He'll give him lots of shape behind. He'll give him a lot of dimension and feature. So just be careful as you're going forward with that one, how you use him. He'll give him look, he'll give him bone, he'll give him mass. The early ones we've seen have been good. I know Krieger I saw today is having an online sale in a couple of days, and the first 2 pictures he put up are not the worst pigs in the world he's ever sold. So I don't know what to tell you. I made the comment this fall. I just find sows and heat and breed them, and I still think that holds true. Again, like his son, I think this summer is going to be really fun with the sows those doses got put into. This guy's going to make a big hit and make a big influence, and I certainly hope, because a lot of guys went all in on him in terms of the way they bred their sows. So use him with confidence. He's just as impressive in real life as he is here on video today, and as you go back and review the video, don't think he's gotten any worse. I think he's just matured and gotten better each and every day he's been in Sabine, Ohio.
Well, what an awesome way to end an awesome event, and you know, I don't want to say anything that Scotty didn't say, but you know, it's one of those that I guess you know, we talk about these great boars across the country, and we talk about what they're priced, and the pricing on this boar is tremendous. Semen Quality is awesome, and you know, we talk about the great boars that have been, and some of them made barras, some of them made females, you know. But I'll tell you what, folks, this one is going to make both. He's going to make awesome show gilts. He's going to make awesome sows. He's going to make awesome barras, and he's also going to go out there and he's going to make that next awesome boar. And that is a unique thing to have. You know, we are so excited. A lot of awesome sows have been bred to this guy. There's going to be a lot more awesome ones bred to him. This guy's going to stand the test of time for look and power and bone. You know, we could talk about him and his son all day long, but an awesome way to end here. As Scotty said, you know, breed with confidence. It's going to be fun. We're certainly blessed to have this guy here.
This is the business. It's now time to announce the winners. For the last 10 days, we have been promoting our live event, and so it's now time to look. Should be on your screen now. The winners of our event. Please take a look at that. If you have won semen, please contact Daryl and make arrangements to get your semen. We appreciate all of you following us on Facebook. We appreciate you liking and sharing and spreading the word. With that in mind, we want to thank you for taking the time to be with us tonight and for looking at our boars. We know you have a lot of options. You have a lot of options to choose from in your breeding program. We'd like for you to give us some consideration, some thought. We would love to work with you. We would love to be a part of your breeding program. With that in mind, we are going to close and pray God's blessings upon you. And in the memory of my dear friend Ralph Doak, who would always finish these events, this summer, we'll see you at the Hog Show. Thank you, good night, and God bless.